Hey everyone, thanks for joining me again for another devotional. My name is Emily. I'm the youth director at First Baptist Church, and today we're going to look at the story of Job. Job is one of my favorite characters, and I think the coolest thing about him is that he was known as the most righteous man of the land of Uz. And I think that's pretty cool because how many people have that kind of nickname? Now, Job had great wealth and lots of livestock. He had camels, donkeys, ox, sheep. He had servants. He had a big family. And he was known as somebody who really followed God. And Satan, while talking with God one day, figured that the only reason this guy is so faithful is because he has everything he needs. And so Satan decides that, if he doesn't have all this stuff, then he's going to not follow God anymore. And so God allows him to take all these things, but he cannot hurt Job. And so Job is stripped of all his livestock, his wealth, his servants, and even his family. And in the wake of great loss, Job responds with this phrase, "The Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away," which is a pretty incredible response in the wake of significant loss like that. And I chose this story today because I feel like though we haven't lost sheep, at least I hope we haven't, if you have them, we have experienced some significant loss in the last few weeks. Whether it be a job or finances or even just the freedom to socialize. I know our seniors are losing prom and graduation and all sorts of things. We are all experiencing loss to some degree in the last few weeks and in the weeks to come. And I was just really convicted because I don't think my attitude all the time has been, the Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away. And maybe you feel that way too. And I was just like, wow, what is our attitude? What has it been on a day-to-day basis during this really difficult situation? And take heart if you haven't had that the Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away attitude, because even Job kind of drifts away from that. After talking with his friends at one point, he kind of feels like this is a huge injustice to him and that God has made a mistake. And so he takes his grievances and his frustrations to the Lord. And I'm deeply encouraged by that alone because we have a God who will listen to our grievances. We have a God who cares about our frustrations and our concerns. And he listened. He listened to Job and he listens to us now. But I was also reminded of when we do go to God with our grievances, with our frustration, that he is going to speak back to us. And I actually love his response to Job because sometimes we kind of need to be given a perspective that is bigger than ours. And so I wanted to read this morning just what God said to Job. So I'm in chapter 38, verse 4. "Where were you when I laid the earth's foundation? Tell me if you understand. Who marked off its dimensions? Surely you know. Who stretched a measuring line across it? On what line were the footings set, and who laid its cornerstone? While the morning stars sang together and all the angels shouted for joy. Who shut up the sea behind doors when it burst from the womb, when I made the clouds its garment and wrapped in thick darkness, when I fixed limits for it and set its doors and bars in place, when I said, 'This far you may come and no farther, here is where your proud waves halt.'" And so I was just reminded that in the midst of all this chaos and this loss, that God is still in perfect control. He controls the waves, the wind, everything, including this virus and how it's affecting us. And so though it doesn't quite make sense because we are experiencing that significant loss, I just wanted us to be encouraged that God is in control, that he has got this situation, that he has got each of us in his hands, and his hands are more capable than anything that we can come up with. His plans are better than anything we could come up with. And even in the face of significant loss, I was also just reminded that God restored Job. He restored so many things to Job. In the last chapter, it says that he was more blessed than when he started. And I don't know what that looks like for each of us, but I believe that we have a God who not only is in control, but loves blessing his people. So take heart and be encouraged that God has got this, that he's got you in your situation, and he knows all the details, and he will work them all out for his good and his glory. I hope you are encouraged today, and I hope to see you soon.